First, there was Inside Out, the Academy Award-winning 2015 Pixar film considered by most critics to be among the best movies of the 21st century. The New York Times even has it in their GOAT Top 10. Well, get ready for a new whirlwind of emotion. Inside Out 2 is here. We'll go into the legendary Pixar animation headquarters and catch up with the joyful Amy Poehler and the rest of the emotional cast as we take a look. Let's take a look. Yes, we are in Pixar Animation Studios, the hallowed halls that have brought you so many Academy Award-winning films, and dare I say, Inside Out 2 likely gonna hit the mark yet again. Why? I saw it, I love it. Go online right now, start Googling, everybody else agrees. It is amazing, and believe me, that was a pretty high bar to reach. In the meantime, do check out Pixar Animation Studios. They could fill several airplane hangars. You could put 12 DC-10s right here where I'm at right now, and every inch of it art from whatever movie they're talking about, like Inside Out 2. All right, let's get right to it. What did I love about it? Amy Poehler. She brings it yet again as joy, and as you can see, joy is joined by yet another emotion, and that, of course, as you know, is anxiety. It comes up in the interview, this, there, right there. I don't want to blow the interview right now and talk about it. By the way, anxiety, Maya Hawke plays that part. Who is Maya Hawke? Well, of course, she's the daughter of award-winning skateboarder Tony Hawk. No, that's not true at all, I'm just making that stuff up. Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman would be her parents, but I knew that already because I love Stranger Things and we talked about it. Take a look.
Hi.
Good to see you two.
You too. Good to see you too.
Like a facade of joy should be floating over me, not this blue suit. I'm so joyful.
Well,
right
Joy
now.
has some blue in her too. She has blue hair.
Good point.
Yeah,
good
she's
point.
got a
This
little
is an homage
sadness
to
in
her
there.
hair. Got it. So for you, being called up to the Pixar table, what does that mean?
Oh God. I mean, I've been a fan of these movies my whole life. As basically, I think every single living person. And it just means the world to me. I mean, this movie in particular, the first movie, really changed the way that I thought about my own brain. You know, it changed the way that I could explain and articulate my emotions to other people, and it opened up the world a little bit. And so to get to be a part of that for this next chapter, this puberty chapter, which is such an important chapter in developmental years for young people, it just means the world to me.
What I love about it, I took my younger kids to go see the original, and now to take them to this one, and they're a huge fan of anxiety because they know anxiety all too well, as all young millennials do. Yeah. For you, with the kids, how does it feel to keep this product going?
Yeah, it's so great. We've had so many people come up and say, I saw the first one 10 years ago. It's not been an easy 10 years for anybody.
No.
I love that Pixar is not gaslighting us. They're really taking into account that this decade has not been an easy one.
Yep.
And the people that were young when they saw the first one have had 10 years now to experience life. So I've had a lot of young people in their 20s talk about how they really need this movie right now. And so to be a part of something like that's awesome.
You live, eat, and breathe comedy. You have since the first moment you can remember. So what is the moment in this movie that makes you laugh the most?
Oh, there's so many good moments. I love when anxiety shows up with holding all the baggage, like all those bags. That really made me laugh hard. I love embarrassment and the joy embarrassment exchange where like they can't get a handshake going because it's going so badly.
Right.
I love the great Paula Pell who voices one of the characters of the in the mom's head when she says, "Well, that's a preview of the next 10 years." Like all these like zingers there's so many good hard laughs in this movie.
When I was 13 years old, embarrassment and anxiety filled the room. In fact, that's all you'd see inside my head. What was the 13-year-old you? Who was there?
Oh.
Sorry. Quite a lot
Do you have
question.
a while?
It made me think about what you just said. Made me think about that moment where embarrassment lays on top of the console, and then sadness goes and is like, "Oh, I got you, big guy," and puts her hand down, and finishes the whole console together. And because that moment made me laugh and like just felt so true that like shame will fill you up and whatever parts it can't reach get filled with sadness. Yeah. And so I feel like probably when I was 13 years old, sadness, embarrassment, anxiety, and like maybe a little joy somewhere.
Right.
Little joy was somewhere doing her best, fighting through all that.
I know. This friendship between embarrassment and
That's my
sadness
favorite.
is a really unexpected friendship. It's
I
really
love
cute.
it.
I promised I wasn't going to cry, but
We'll get
seeing
ya.
anxiety and
We'll
joy
get ya.
hanging out together in harmony
team.
makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's gotta happen.
Thank you.
I love that. And there's the baggage that always comes with anxiety. One of my favorite moments of the movie, but there are so many, I don't want to ruin it. All right, as we keep the party train going in our Inside Out Take a Look special for Inside Out 2, we're going to go behind fear and disgust. Yes, new voices, but you won't need to be afraid of them, nor will you find disgust. As we take a look next.
Our little girl's growing up so fast.
Welcome back to Take a Look at Pixar for our Inside Out 2 half-hour special. We're cranking right along, talking about all of the emotions like fear and disgust. Two new voices for it, Tony and Liza. They do an amazing job. And as seen in this picture, you can try to squash out and suppress those emotions, but you can't shut them out for good. Take a look.
Good to see you two.
Good to see you again.
No offense to your characters, I'm feeling nothing but joy today.
Aw, I love that.
The blue suit, homage to her hair, I guess. Right?
That's right.
That's good.
Yes.
That's really good.
And sad a little bit. Sad, blue.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
And sad.
Yeah.
I'm crying, but they're tears of joy.
Right.
So,
Okay, there you go.
That's nice. I
All
just
right.
love how you stepped up, man. Well done on the outfit.
Thank you, you too. I love that shade. Like, did you coincidence that it blends perfectly in tone to the backdrop?
I like a theme, and it's the fear color, so I was like, let's do it.
Fantastic. Pixar is in my backyard, so I have the luxury and, believe me, the privilege of getting to jump on campus from time to time, and I never take it for granted. I sit
I
there and
know.
go, the bones of this place and what it's created,
Yes.
what does it mean for you?
I mean, I haven't been to campus. I can't wait to go to campus, but to be a part of a Pixar film, especially this one, has just been. There's no words to describe it. It's
Yeah, really not.
joy times 55,000.
Awesome. How about you?
Well, I've been able to go a few times, and you can feel the energy of just creativity and also very communal feeling. But also each of the artists had decorated their spaces. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah.
Like one space is like a total pirate ship. Like they create within their workspace. It's pretty wild.
And what a great place to work.
Oh, it's amazing.
Can I go? Can you
It's so
call
funny you
somebody?
can't.
Can you
It's
call?
Weird.
Can you call somebody?
People are watching right now going, why has she not been
Can
up?
you call somebody? Okay.
In seconds, you'll be up there. A jet will come down and pick you up. So you've seen the film. Have you seen the film?
Yes.
All right. What's the moment that brings you joy the most?
That brings me joy. Gosh, all of it. I was crying tears of joy throughout all of it. Maybe, maybe when all of the emotions came together and hugged her sense of self. All of them, the good and the bad.
You took mine. That was like when that moment happened, because I think why it was joyful, obviously how they do it, but the emotional life is so complex, so how they make it accessible. But I was like, yeah, I need to do that to myself. I need to stop separating all these things and bring them together, you know?
Amen. When I was 13 years old, embarrassment and anxiety. That's all that filled the space.
Yeah.
If you were in something
Yes,
like that.
yes.
Where was the 13-year-old you? What was hanging out in the head?
Disgust, ennui, anxiety,
Yeah, exactly.
fear.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
basically not joy.
Yeah,
Everything that wasn't joy. Also, we've talked about it before. There's a blackout period, which is referred to in the film, when all systems shut down because of its overwhelm. And there are chunks I don't remember.
And her character specifically, the perception, how she kind of goes, oh, what's happening in the eyes? I remember that as a kid, just being like constantly trying to read everybody's reaction of me.
Right. And how about fear? That your character, like when the biggest moment you experienced what your character is in life.
In life?
Yeah.
Oh.
That you can disclose. One time I was holding up a liquor store.
People are watching. People are watching.
Fear, man, I mean, oh gosh. There was, I think that, I know one specifically. When my daughter was 5 and we were at the mall and I looked one way and then I looked the other and she was gone.
Nice.
And there was just that thing of like, she was just running in the playground, but that moment of, this is one of those Lifetime movies where I can't find my daughter, so that was terrifying.
And then upon safe return, joy.
Yeah, joy,
How about you?
and then relief.
Well, for disgust, it's
Right.
my character. It's very tactile for me. Like, keep away from the poop on the floor.
That's a good reaction.
Yeah, keep away.
Right.
Oh, that food is disgusting. It's going to make you
yeah.
vomit. So it's very physical protection. My character disgust.
You're such a good actress that when you said keep away from the poop on the floor for a moment,
I know.
just to
It's
see if
like,
there
my
was.
goodness, why would there be poop on
Thank
this?
you.
Not a commercial, but as we wrap it up, see Inside Out 2 because.
See, because it's going to bring you joy and it's going to give you language to talk about your mental health.
Yes, and have See it because it's going to give you the opportunity to have compassion towards your feelings rather than try to push them away.
That's right.
Much like Tony and Liza, you can't shut out the emotions. You can't shut them down either. Wait till you see and specifically hear them in this movie. All right, coming up next, the emotional train keeps rolling along. We talk to anger and embarrassment. Who are they? We're going to get to know them next. It is Take a Look, and our half-hour All Things Inside Out 2 special from Pixar Animation Studios, one of my favorite places on the planet. I want to steal everything in here, but there's so many people on the other side of the camera making sure that I keep my hands in my pocket, essentially. Like this. I would love to have this. I got a chance to sit down with Anger himself, Lewis Black, who brings a lot of anger to the table, despite the fact that his inner self is one of the nicest, kindest human being on the planet, and Paul Walker Hauser, who brings the voice of this new guy, Embarrassment. We talked about a range of emotions, anger included, and the most important thing, merchandising. Look.
Good to see you two.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Always shocked to see a smile on your face because you represent anger in so many ways. All kidding aside, you are one of the sweetest people on the planet. I've seen you do stand-up in person no less than 100 times, and you really are anger forward in performance.
Yeah.
So it's always been a lovely fit, yeah?
Yeah, it's always worked. Once I found out how to play it, it took a long time to understand that the audience could handle it. When the first time I started yelling about things, I literally, at that place, worked this place in New York, and I would turn around and yell at the wall, and then turn back. Because I was afraid to yell at them directly.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then when I discovered that they liked to be yelled at, wow, that was the beginning, and it moved things along.
I feel like we just got a glimpse inside the comedic mind of Lewis Black. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, that was informative. That was cool.
I interviewed you one time with Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood looked down and said, "You need to tie your shoe." And I felt embarrassed.
Oh,
Which
goodness.
brings me back to you.
He was probably only saying it because he didn't want you to trip and fall. He probably cared about you.
That's the kindness.
Yeah. And when have I been embarrassed?
Yeah, well, for you, what do you bring to the table? Was the 13-year-old you full of embarrassment?
I'm sure I was embarrassing for my folks and the people close to me. But I think when I was 13, I was born in 86. So in 1999, you got to think of what I was consuming at that time from a media diet. It was like Johnny Knoxville and the Jackass Guys, Saturday Night Live. The bands I listened to were, Blink 182, or Eminem. So it's a lot of abrasive, silly, we can do no wrong, boyish idiocy. So, I probably should have been more embarrassed, but I really wasn't.
I don't know. It sounds like it would have been fun to be inside your mind at 13. Things were okay.
It brought me here, so I don't bemoan it or begrudge it that much, I guess.
This will be the second time I've had the pleasure of asking you this. What does it mean to be a part of the Pixar experience, the Pixar universe?
It's huge. There's they tell you, the idea is that you're not getting as much money, but you're immortal. And you kind of go, well, that works. Wonderful. But it's weird to go, going into Disney land the other day and kind of seeing myself everywhere, seeing that alter ego, seeing myself. That's the most psychotic thing I've said. Please don't. Let's edit that.
Right?
That was the moment they took him away. But essentially that little guy's all over the place, and I'm standing there buying a hot dog at the guy's hot dog stand. I mean, it was kind of like, this is. How long is? And then I found out today that they've got me walking around as I'm now like Sleeping Beauty. I've got a character.
Yes.
The character walks around.
Some sweaty, underpaid theater grad is walking around.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing after retirement. Kidding me?
You're just pulling the head off, going, "Hey, it's me." The kids are screaming and running away.
You laugh, but wouldn't it be fun to put Embarrassment on in costume, walk around the park, and then just one time?
I mean, it sounds like a great online campaign. I say we soup it up right now.
Yep. Well, it beats getting on that roller coaster,
which I somehow told them I would do.
Well, you are, yeah, but
I don't know what's
you're
wrong with
nuts.
me. Yeah. I'm
You
a
know,
little
even
silly.
the little time that I've gotten to know you, that's because
No,
I said no.
It borders on upsetting.
Yeah. Wow.
If they had a nuts character, I could portray that one.
The Inside Out 3, you never know.
Yeah.
You could do 2 roles, right?
I'm hoping there's an Inside Out 5 where we just we run out of emotions and it turns into like stances like tribalism and trauma, that kind of thing.
With no offense, you might be going darker than Pixar's heart and soul wants you to go.
I don't know. Have you seen the ending of Toy Story 3?
Well, there is that.
They're
I
headed
love
for an
it.
incinerator. I mean, that's rough.
If we start talking about death, all of a sudden I get to this.
Oh, I'm
You guys,
sorry.
This movie is joyful, triumphant, and like you said, you're immortal in this. This will be watched for centuries.
Yeah.
God bless you. Good to
great
see you.
great to see you.
Thanks so much.
I love this new character so much, and I think it's revealed in the trailer. My favorite part of the character is when he gets embarrassed, he turns and shows. And I don't want to crack that joke right now. You'll see it when you see it. In the meantime, let's talk about something else that embarrasses me when I can't find the person I'm supposed to talk to. Bobby Podesta, legendary animator's multi-Academy Award winner for things Pixar. Behind this movie, he had a little something to do with Bing Bong in the last Inside Out, but we're going to talk about happy stuff like joy as our Take a Look half-hour special continues. We'll be right back. I promised I wasn't going to cry, but now I'm crying. Just checking out the storyboard art for Inside Out 2. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. It is our all Inside Out 2 special coming to you from the hallowed hallways of Pixar Animation Studios. Look, almost like a squirrel. Look, it's the construction workers from Inside Out 2. That is amazing. Look, I don't even know if I'm plot spoiling by showing you some of this stuff, so stop looking at all this stuff. I'm just here to meet up with a good friend of mine. Well, a friend of mine, well, an acquaintance, really. It's this guy, Bobby Podesta. How are you?
Mark, nice to see you again. How are you doing?
I've known you long enough we could be friends.
That is true. That is true.
I may have been coming to this place about as long as you've been coming to this place.
I think you have. I think I've seen you in almost all of our movies.
And if you've not met Bobby before, let me tell you, cut his teeth here at Pixar. Started with A Bug's Life. Correct me if I get anything wrong. Toy Story 2, heavily involved in that. Cars, of course, and brilliant directing on Disney+. The Cars series, loved that. And Inside Out 1, you cross paths with Bing Bong.
That's true. I got to do a little bit of animation on the first Inside Out. I worked with Bing Bong, which is fantastic.
Sure.
That whole film was amazing, which is why I'm just excited for this film to come out and be able to come back and see those characters again.
Yeah, the movie is amazing. As audiences enjoy it, let's talk about what we're going to do right here, right now.
So, you've known me long enough. I grew up drawing. I love drawing. I love drawing these characters.
Sure.
I thought, one of the characters I got to animate on Inside Out 2 was a little bit of sadness.
Yeah.
I thought I'd do a little
I'm
drawing.
dressed for sadness.
There you
for
go.
Crying out loud.
If you want to see, I can just show you how I
Let's
draw
do.
sadness. That sounds good. All right. So, what I love about these characters is, they really kind of invoke, like in their shape of how they look, kind of their personalities. Sadness kind of feels like this kind of like sad kind of gumdrop as she kind of comes down in her body and everything, and as she kind of like looks up, she's always looking up at you, with this kind of big, sad eyes. And if you've ever noticed this with anyone who draws, like if you watch them as they're drawing, a lot of times we end up making the faces. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, in your face, I see the exact sadness.
Yeah, you end up making the faces of whatever it is you're drawing at the time. And there's got to be there's people drawing for eons. There's got to be some reason why we do this.
The more you draw and the more I see your face, the sadder I get.
Oh my gosh, I know.
It's bringing the party down, but in the most
know.
delightful way.
The most delightful way. I absolutely love this character. She's fantastic. The voice performance is great. The character is great. She was the star of the first film. If you ask me, it's absolutely wonderful. So, a little bit of sadness.
That is amazing. You got to sign that, and we'll put that on our social and give it to a children's charity of some sort.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So what's the greatest thing that brings you, let's flip the script, joy here at Pixar?
The greatest thing that brings me joy, I get to make my life as an artist. Like that's kind of nuts. It's kind of bonkers, right? When you think about it, I get to draw and be creative every single day. And this is, I will say, like all of us, you drew when you were a kid.
Of course.
Right? All these kids, we all draw, we all make art when we're a kid. And, we can do this as a living. I had a great teacher in college who said, if it's not grown or dug up from the earth, it's designed. There's art everywhere. There's art everywhere. So I get to make art for a living. I hope there's kids watching this right now that get inspired and want to make art for a living. And I say, you can do this. You can do this. You'll make the movies that I'll go see tomorrow.
That is awesome. I drew and people looked at my art and said I should be institutionalized. They look at your art and said it needs to be turned into something that people enjoy for generations.
It's fun. It's fun. It's great. It is, ironically, it's a total joy to be able to work on Sadness.
It's awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. As we wrap this up, see Inside Out 2 in theaters because...
It's fantastic.
And that's an understatement. Bobby Podesta, everybody. Hey, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for joining us on Take a Look for this special Inside Out studio. I'm going to leave you with that masterpiece, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Can I go to the commissary? I want to break off some cereal.